Life can feel like a long road with twists, turns, and unexpected stops. Some of you listening right now are on a road that seems to have no end. You have prayed, you have cried, you have done everything you know to do, and yet the answer you are waiting for has not come. Your heart may be whispering, "Has God forgotten me? Has He left me here?" I want to tell you today with absolute assurance, God's delays are not His denials. The waiting is not wasted. The silence is not absence. He is still writing your story, and when He turns the page, you will see that every step, every tear, every delay was leading you exactly where you needed to be. God never abandons His children in the middle of their journey. When you gave Him your life, you became His responsibility. That means your future is secure, your destiny is guarded, and even when life feels like it has taken a wrong turn, He knows exactly where you are and where He is taking you. The journey you are on is not random. It is a divine path, and the delays you face are not meant to destroy you, but to develop you. Sometimes God holds you in a season longer than you expected because He is preparing something greater than you imagined. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and later wrongfully imprisoned. For years it must have felt like life was only getting worse. But what Joseph didn't know was that every delay was moving him closer to the palace, closer to the position God had prepared for him. If Joseph had been released one day too early or too late, he would have missed the moment that changed his life and saved a nation. Your timing is not God's timing, but His timing is perfect. Trust requires surrender. It means letting go of your own plans, your own deadlines, and saying, "God, I believe you know what is best for me, even when I don't understand." That's not always easy. Our human nature wants to control the outcome. We want to see the map before we take the first step. But God rarely shows the entire plan. He shows us just enough to keep walking by faith. And faith grows strongest when we cannot see what's ahead. Delays are often where faith is forged. They are where character is shaped. They are where God teaches you to depend on Him completely. If everything came easy, if every prayer was answered instantly, you wouldn't grow. You wouldn't develop the patience, the strength, and the maturity needed to handle the blessings He has for you. Sometimes God keeps you waiting not because He is punishing you, but because He is protecting you from something you cannot see yet. And I want you to hear this: just because nothing seems to be moving on the outside does not mean nothing is happening on the inside. God is working behind the scenes. He is aligning the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances so that when the moment comes, everything will fall into place. When He moves, it will be sudden. It will be undeniable. It will be clear that it was His hand that opened the door. You might feel today like you are stuck in the same place, going in circles, but your current chapter is not permanent. Just as suddenly as the Red Sea parted, just as suddenly as David was called from the field to be anointed king, just as suddenly as the storm ceased when Jesus spoke peace, "Be still," God can shift your journey in a moment. The waiting you have endured will make the blessing even sweeter because you will know it was not by your power, not by your wisdom, but by His faithfulness. Don't give up in the waiting. Don't let bitterness take root in your heart. Delays can make you feel forgotten, but they are proof that God is working. If He wasn't interested in your future, He would have left you alone. The very fact that you are still here, still breathing, still fighting to believe, is evidence that He is not finished with you. He is shaping you for something you cannot yet see, and here is the beautiful truth: when God changes your journey, your testimony will bring hope to others. The very thing you cried over will become the story that inspires someone else to keep going. The pain you feel today will one day make you lift your hands and say, "Lord, you knew exactly what you were doing all along." So lift your head, strengthen your heart, take another step, even if it's a small one. Keep trusting, keep praying, Keep believing that His plan is better than your plan. Your delay is not the end of your story. It is the setup for the next chapter, the chapter where everything turns around, where His promises become visible, where His faithfulness is undeniable. God is about to change your journey, and when He does, you will see why you had to wait. You will see why certain doors closed, why certain people walked away, why certain seasons were so hard. You will see that every moment was leading you closer to His purpose for your life. And when that day comes, when the breakthrough happens, when the answer arrives, remember to give Him all the glory, because it was never about your strength, your timing, or your plan. It was always about His goodness, His wisdom, and His perfect love for you. God's delays are not His denials. Trust Him. He knows where you are, He knows what you need, and He knows when to bring it to pass. Your journey is about to shift, and when it does, your life will be a living testimony of His faithfulness. Life is a journey. For some of you, that journey has been hard, confusing, and filled with unexpected turns. You have prayed, waited, and wondered if God has heard you. You have seen doors close, opportunities slip through your fingers, and relationships fall apart. You may have felt stuck, wandering in the wilderness of disappointment. But I want to speak hope into your heart today. God is about to change your journey. He is not finished with you. What feels like a setback is about to become a setup for the next chapter of your story. God never leaves His children where He found them. From the beginning of time, He has been a God of movement, a God who calls His people forward. Abraham was called out of his homeland to a place he had never seen. Joseph was taken from a pit to a palace. David went from the shepherd's field to the throne. None of them could see the full picture when they started the journey, but God knew exactly what He was doing. And He knows exactly what He is doing in your life too. Sometimes He allows delays, not because He has forgotten you, but because He is preparing you. The waiting seasons are often where your faith grows the most. When everything around you is quiet, when nothing seems to be moving, that is when God is shaping your character and strengthening your trust. It is easy to trust God when the path is clear and the answers are immediate. But trust requires surrender when life feels uncertain. True trust is not just believing that God is able, it is resting in His timing even when it feels late. It is saying, Lord, I put this in your hands, not my will, but yours be done. That kind of surrender is not always easy. Our human nature wants to take control, to plan every step, to fix what is broken on our own. But there are some things only God can do. There are some doors only He can open. There are some battles only He can win. When we try to force outcomes in our own strength, we only wear ourselves out and create frustration. But when we let go and allow Him to lead, we begin to see that His plan is better than ours ever could have been. You may feel right now like you are standing at a dead end. But God specializes in turning dead ends into divine direction. Just as suddenly as Joseph was lifted from prison to the palace, just as suddenly as the Red Sea parted for the Israelites, just as suddenly as Jesus called Lazarus out of the tomb, God can shift your situation. He can turn sorrow into joy, mourning into dancing, defeat into victory. And here is what makes this truth even more powerful. When God changes your journey, it won't just be for you. Others will see what He has done in your life and be encouraged. Your pain will have a purpose, your waiting will have a reward, and your story will become a testimony that inspires others to trust Him too. But you must be willing to trust Him before you see the outcome. Trust means surrendering your fears, your timeline, and your expectations. It means believing that even if the road is longer than you imagined, even if it takes you through valleys you never planned for, God is still guiding your steps. Trust says, even when I don't see it, I know you are working. Even when I don't feel it, I know you are faithful. This is where many people miss it. They give up just before the breakthrough. They stop praying just before the answer comes. They stop believing just before the miracle is released. Don't let that be you. Hold on to faith. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Because when God moves, He moves suddenly. One moment you will be in the same place you have been for months or years, and the next moment everything will shift. Sometimes God allows the road to be hard because He is preparing you for where you are going. If He gave you the promise too soon, you wouldn't be ready to handle it. The wilderness teaches dependence. The delay teaches perseverance. The silence teaches you to listen for His still, small voice. And when you finally step into what He has been preparing, you will be able to look back and say, "Lord, now I understand why you took me the way you did. It was not to harm me, it was to prepare me." So today, lift your head. Don't let discouragement weigh you down. Don't let fear steal your faith. Don't let impatience push you out of position. Trust requires surrender, and surrender is your invitation for God to take the wheel. He is about to write a new chapter in your life, one full of grace, provision, and open doors. This is not the end. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. The same God who brought you this far will not leave you now. He will finish what He started. He will lead you to a place of blessing, a place of joy, a place where you can say with confidence, "God has been faithful." Your journey is about to change. It may not happen the way you expect, but it will happen in the way that is best for you. Trust Him with the unknown. Trust Him with the timing. Trust Him with your heart, because when He turns the page, the next season of your life will be greater than anything you have left behind. And when that day comes, when you step into the fulfillment of what you have been praying for, give Him all the glory. Tell your story. Encourage someone else who is still in the waiting room of life. Let them know that God can do for them what He did for you, because this is who He is, a God who changes journeys, a God who turns mourning into dancing, a God who makes a way where there seems to be no way. So keep walking, keep believing, and keep trusting. The road you are on is about to take a turn for the better, and when it does, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was the hand of God that led you there. Life is not a straight road. It twists, it turns, and sometimes it feels like it leads us nowhere. Maybe you have been in a season of waiting for a prayer to be answered, waiting for a dream to come to life, waiting for God to show you why things had to be so hard. You've wondered if you missed your turn, if you took a wrong step somewhere along the way, but I came to tell you today, sudden shifts are possible when God is in control of your journey. God does not leave His children wandering aimlessly. Even when it looks like you are stuck, He is still leading you. The delays, the detours, the disappointments are not signs of His absence, they are proof of His process. He is molding you, strengthening you, preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. There are things God has spoken over your life that have not yet come to pass, but they are still on schedule. He has not forgotten you. His timing is perfect, and His plan is flawless. Think about the stories we read in Scripture. Joseph was in a prison cell one day, forgotten by the world, and the next day he was standing in the palace, second in command of Egypt. David was out in the fields tending sheep, when suddenly the prophet called him in and anointed him king. The disciples were on a stormy sea, convinced they would die, when suddenly Jesus spoke, "Peace, be still," and the wind and waves obeyed Him. God specializes in sudden shifts. He knows how to change the course of a life in a single moment. But here is the key: you must trust Him even when you cannot trace Him. Trust is not easy when the road feels dark, when the prayers seem unanswered, when the pain feels unending. Trust means believing that God knows what He is doing, even when you do not. Trust is saying, "Lord, I cannot see how this will work out, but I know you are faithful." Trust is choosing to stay in His hands when everything inside you wants to take control. And sometimes God will allow a season of stillness before the shift. He allows a season where doors remain closed, where prayers seem to echo back in silence, because He is aligning the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing. If He moved too soon, you might miss the fullness of what He has prepared for you. If He moved too late, you might lose hope. But God is never early, and He is never late. He is always right on time. Perhaps you feel today like you are walking in circles, like nothing is moving forward. But let me remind you, God has a way of doing in a single day what you thought would take years. One divine connection, one moment of favor, one answered prayer can change everything. Your job is not to figure out how your job is to trust Him and keep walking by faith. This is why the pain you are facing cannot be wasted. Every tear you have cried, every night you have felt alone, every trial you have endured is working something in you. It is producing strength, humility, endurance, and a deeper dependence on God. And when the shift comes, when God suddenly changes your situation, you will look back and realize that every step, even the painful ones, were leading you right where you needed to be. The enemy wants you to believe that your story ends in defeat, that your future will look exactly like your past. But God says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. A new season is on the horizon. A new chapter is being written." The pain you've known is about to give way to purpose. The closed doors you've faced are about to swing wide open. The night you've walked through is about to break into dawn, and when it happens, it will be clear that it was the hand of God. People will wonder how things turned around for you so quickly, and you will be able to say, "It was not me, it was the Lord." Your testimony will become a light for others still walking through their darkness. They will find courage because you did not give up when you could have. So hold on, don't stop praying, don't stop believing, don't let bitterness take root in your heart. The journey may have been hard, but the destination will be worth it. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who raised Lazarus from the grave, who fed 5,000 with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, that same God is working in your life right now. And when the shift happens, it may not come the way you expect. It may not follow your plan, but it will be better than anything you could have written for yourself. God's plans are higher, His ways are wiser, His thoughts about you are good. Take a moment right now to trust Him again. Lay down the fear, the worry, the frustration, and say, "Lord, I trust you with this journey. Even if you cannot see the road ahead, trust the one who holds the map." Even if you feel like you are walking through the valley of the shadow of death, remember that He is with you, guiding you, protecting you, leading you to green pastures. Sudden shifts are possible, and they are coming for you. The season of waiting will break. The chains of delay will fall off, and you will step into a new chapter of favor, joy, and purpose. All God asks is that you keep trusting Him, keep believing, and keep walking forward. Because when your journey changes, and it will, the world will see the goodness of God written all over your life. And when they ask how it happened, you will be able to say, "I trusted Him, and He did what only He could do." Life is a journey, and for many of you listening right now, this journey has been anything but easy. You've walked through valleys so deep you wondered if the sun would ever shine again. You've faced nights so long that you questioned if morning would ever come. Maybe you have been through betrayal, loss, financial hardship, sickness, or seasons where it felt like heaven was silent. But today, I want to tell you something that will strengthen your faith. God is about to change your journey. And when He does, your journey will become your testimony. Every step you've taken, even the painful ones, have been shaping you into the person you are becoming. Nothing you have gone through has been wasted in the eyes of God. The delays, the disappointments, the closed doors, they are not signs that He has abandoned you. They are signs that He is preparing you for something greater than you can see right now. God's delays are not denials. Sometimes He withholds what you think you want because He knows what you truly need. And when He finally opens the right door, you'll see why every other door had to stay shut. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, lied about, and thrown into prison. For years, it seemed like his life was getting worse instead of better. But those years of waiting were not wasted. They were preparing him for the day when he would be promoted to the palace and used by God to save many lives. What looked like a detour was actually God's perfect route. In the same way, the struggles you are facing are not random. They are steps on the path that God is using to lead you exactly where He wants you to be. This is why trust is so important. Trust requires surrender. Trust is not just believing God when everything is going well. Trust is choosing to believe Him when nothing makes sense. It is standing still when everything in you wants to run. It is saying, Lord, I don't understand this season, but I know you are good. I know you are faithful. I know you are leading me somewhere I cannot see. That kind of trust opens the door for God to move in ways that will leave you speechless. Sometimes the journey feels long because God is doing a deep work inside you. He is removing things that cannot go with you into the next season. He is stretching your faith so that when the breakthrough comes, you are strong enough to carry it. Waiting seasons are not punishment, they are preparation. And while you wait, He is still working. He is aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right timing. And then, just when it seems like nothing is changing, God can shift everything in a moment. Sudden shifts are possible. In an instant, Joseph went from the prison to the palace. In one night, the Israelites walked out of Egypt after 400 years of slavery. In a single encounter, blind Bartimaeus went from sitting on the roadside begging to following Jesus with clear vision. God does not need years to turn things around. He can do it suddenly, unexpectedly, in a way that only He can take credit for. But here's the key: you must stay faithful while you wait. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't give up because it feels like nothing is happening. Don't allow discouragement to convince you to quit. This is the testing ground for your faith, and when you pass the test, you will see that the journey was worth it. The pain, the tears, the prayers you thought went unanswered, they are all part of a bigger story. And when God does what He has promised, your journey will become your testimony. People will look at you and say, I don't know how you made it through, but there must be a God who carried you. Your story will inspire others to believe that if God did it for you, He can do it for them. Your testimony will be a light in the darkness for someone else's journey. That is why the enemy has fought you so hard, because he knows what you are carrying will give others hope. So take heart, lift your head. Breathe again. God has not forgotten you. You are not stuck. You are not abandoned. You are in the hands of the one who knows the end from the beginning. And the one who began this good work in you will be faithful to complete it. Your current chapter is not the last one. The author of your story is still writing, and the next page may very well be the breakthrough you've been praying for. You may have cried in this chapter, but you will rejoice in the next one. You may have walked through fire, but you will come out purified like gold. You may have felt like you were wandering in circles, but God is about to set your feet on solid ground and show you that every step was leading you closer to your destiny. This is the moment to trust Him with everything: the unknowns, the fears, the dreams, the pain. Hand it all over to Him and say, Lord, have your way. I trust your plan. When you do, you will begin to see Him move in ways that remind you that He has been with you all along. And when that moment comes, when the healing arrives, when the door opens, when the answer comes, don't forget to give Him all the glory. because this is not just about your comfort. This is about His kingdom, His plan, His glory being revealed through your life. So hold on. The journey you are on is not over, and it is not meaningless. God is about to change your direction, and what has been your greatest struggle will soon become your greatest testimony. And when you tell your story, it will not just be words, it will carry the power of someone who has walked through the fire and come out on the other side. Your journey is about to become a testimony that declares to the world, God is faithful, God is good, and God never leaves His children where they are.